Hello everyone, welcome to the Bucket List Reviews. My name is Gibran and we are kind of in the middle of building a set actually. It might take a bit of time and I guess it seems a bit different from my other videos, but just bear with me, okay? So anyways, today I'll be reviewing the critically acclaimed musical of this year, La La Land, starring Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. So this film is directed by Damien Chazelle, who also directed one of my favorite films of 2014, Whiplash. So as you can clearly see the connection, Damien Chazelle loves to work with the thematic element of music, and as natural evolution goes, I guess he was bound to make a musical in his career. La La Land tells the story of Mia, played by Emma Stone, an aspiring actress, and Sebastian, played by Ryan Gosling, a dedicated jazz musician who is struggling to make ends meet in a city known for crushing hopes and breaking hearts. Set in modern-day Los Angeles, this original musical about everyday life explores the joy and pain of pursuing your dreams. So obviously, La La Land is paying homage to the Technicolor musicals of the 50s and early 60s Hollywood. From the opening credit sequence to the colors within each frame, the style and essence of that genre was very accurately emulated. And with a lovable on-screen duo of Gosling and Stone, what could possibly go wrong? Well, a couple of things. The genre of musicals in film have always been a bit different compared to the rest. The emotion and storytelling always derives from the chemistry between the two main leads. They sing and dance with one another, they get into a fight, they fall in love, the usual. And it's the chemistry between the two main leads that makes the film such a memorable experience. But what was severely missing from the film was a substantial conflict that derives the plot of the film. Sure, the two beautiful people fall in love with one another, but in what environment are they challenging those odds? So for example, in the famous musical Singing in the Rain, you had Debbie Reynolds' character with such a beautiful voice, but she's acting like a ghost singer to one of the other actresses who has a really terrible voice. So the film just didn't really rely on the chemistry between Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds. They had a very concrete plot that they were working on. And in another musical, you had the retelling of Romeo and Juliet playing in Manhattan's Hell Kitchen. The lovers of two opposite gangs cannot fall in love with one another, but they do, and they somehow try to make it work. That was the main conflict of the film. So what's the main conflict in La La Land? Well, Emma Stone wants to be an actress and Ryan Gosling wants to be a jazz musician, but at the same time also wants to open a jazz bar. It's not a very compelling conflict, is it? I was extremely impatient throughout the second act because after Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone fell in love, there wasn't really much of a conflict left and the story had no purpose to exist. So as if the star power of Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling wasn't enough, they introduced a new character, which was John Legend, and to be honest, he wasn't even needed in the film. He barely spoke a few lines, had terrible acting, he just served as a plot device for the film. It's as if the producers thought late in the game, oh shit, Gosling and Stone aren't enough for the film, let's just make a new plot device. And there is a conflict that's revealed late into the film, but by that point I kind of lost interest in the film. But let's talk about the performances. Stone and Gosling have been in previous films together like Crazy Stupid Love, and they really have good chemistry together. Emma Stone really shines well in the film. She has a lot of memorable scenes and a lot of heartbreaking scenes at times. Ryan Gosling, on the other hand, Now don't get me wrong, Ryan Gosling is a terrific actor, and in this year's The Nice Guys, he actually proved that he has a wide range of acting chops. But in this film, man, he was just so bland. The scenes where Emma Stone was giving her best, Ryan Gosling was just being, well, Ryan Gosling. You know what I mean? This, hey ladies, I'm Ryan Gosling. I'm just gonna be bland and say dialogues in an uninteresting way.
I never had a daddy.
What?
And I know the female audience won't give a crap, but it matters to me. So there was almost no dancing in the film, so I can't really critique about it, which is an integral part of a musical, come on! Although the duo isn't bad, they ain't no Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. But speaking strictly from a technical standpoint, this film is top notch. There's a brilliant opening shot to the film which is great and really well choreographed. The colors really pop out of the screen and have such memorable color palette. The songs are good, but nothing really memorable. It's not something that I would be humming after watching the film. And surprisingly, Emma Stone has a really good voice, but you know, the songs aren't really that great, so it didn't make much of a difference, but what can you do? At least what I can say for Ryan Gosling is that he actually learned how to play the piano just for this film. And when you see the piano segments in this film, he did a really good job emulating it. And I really kind of appreciate that dedication from an actor. And the only thing that saved this film for me was the third act of the film. And that's where I feel this film shines the most. And it's kind of interesting because the third act of the film is usually the weakest of it. You get to witness some of the most creative montages, beautiful imagery, and visual storytelling that actually took my breath away. And I was just wondering throughout that whole sequence, like, where was this throughout the whole film? So, final thoughts. I think this film did a really good job in emulating the 50s and 60s style of musicals in Hollywood at that time. But you kind of need something more than that to make it a memorable experience. There isn't a single song or a dance number that I can remember from the film, but the only thing that made an impact on me was the third act of the film. So it's a modest recommendation from my side. The film had a lot of potential, but it didn't end up being what it could have been. Stone is really great in the film, but the duo kind of seemed uneven in a lot of places. But if it's the color and imagery that makes you interested in watching it, then La La Land is the film for you. And I will give this film a 2.5 stars out of 5. So, that was my review of La La Land. Is there any musical that you personally like? Write in the comment section below. And as always, like, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see each other next time. So, ciao!